Hello, everybody, and welcome to People's Exhibit, a show about horses and horse racing. And sometimes we also...
Finally, a subject that, I feel that I have some mastery in and can spit length about.
Excellent. This is Ed. He's a famous, is it jockey?
Astrophysicist. Jockey,
yeah.
astrophysicist.
Yeah.
I'm the jockey in my spare time.
Okay, it's excellent. Yeah, he's actually a lot smaller than he looks. That's how he can continue to be a jockey. Cause
I'm actually standing on the desk, which is like here.
Which is standing on a horse.
Yeah.
And the horse is standing on a turtle.
I'll adjust the webcam to show the horse. Actually, it's a bit shy. So I won't. But it is right there. It's very quiet. It's a very quiet horse. I bred it for quietness, in fact. I'm also a horse breeder.
Double hobby. So the reason we're talking about horses is because we start crowdfunding as always, and our first crowdfunding thing isn't really about crowdfunding, but it's about horses, sort of. It's also sort of about crowdfunding. So I had this conversation with Dex, one of the Kiwis, and he was asking me, is there a place where I could bet on whether or not Star Citizen is going to come out as a game? Ever.
You can.
And then he Googled Star Citizen bet, and this is how we ended up with this, Star Citizen the horse, which you can bet on. The one thing I didn't manage to find out, you can bet on this horse, by the way, it didn't manage to find out whether or not this is like because of Star Citizen, or is it's like this like how those two guys invented bicycle in two different countries, they never knew each other or whatever.
All right. Well, this horse was born in 2012, so
Isn't that when the campaign happened?
I guess.
I think so. So it makes sense.
So you have it.
Sci-fi
Born with hope.
Sci-fi fans are into horse racing.
And they're going to achieve more with this horse, probably.
Than with the game. That's
Star
it.
Citizen release. Also, this horse will have to do a lot of work to get to the point where it actually will lose people more money than the Star Citizen campaign. Like, it will have to rise up and fail horribly in a really important race, and people will be super into it, for it to come anywhere close to losing people the amount of money that Star Citizen so far has lost people.
And then it turns out that it's owned by Derek Smart.
Who should also be a horse, and they should be forced to race all the time.
Or maybe they could both be bred to produce a super horse. The progeny would be of Derek Smart and Star Citizen. Imagine that. It would probably be called Bella Cruiser 3000. Just guessing here.
I was thinking, what's Derek Smart's fucking shit game?
Just the idea. Or maybe he's whatever, Line of Defense, the Forgotten MMO, or whatever it's called. It's full name.
I wouldn't mind playing a game called the Forgotten MMO. And the whole point is it's a single-player adventure, but pitched as if it was an MMO.
Oh, that's a great idea.
As if you're on an empty server, just trying to find some fun in it somewhere.
That's a great idea. I think, you shouldn't have said it out loud. The horse is out of the stable now, so... Unfortunately, okay. Which leads us to Rust, obviously, because they don't have no horses in that game. This isn't actually crowdfunding either, but I just stuck it there because it's kind of. I like the joke of microtransactions actually being a way to crowdfund stuff. So like that, I find that amusing. When I'm alone, I sometimes giggle about this idea. So doctors warned me against it. They said Sandro stopped on.
You're not meant to talk about
it's like,
have you been
doing this again? So you know probably, if you haven't been living on the moon without the radio, that there's marketplace on Steam and you can sell useless shit. And now there's also a store, or if you're a dev who has a game on Steam or a publisher, you can now have a store which sells essentially the same stuff, sometimes for a different price. Now, if you find
item stores,
if you find that confusing, that's because it is. To me, anyway, I've read the article like 3 times, and I don't like. I don't really understand. So essentially, the way it happens in Rust is currently the only game that has that. Even though this is not restricted to Rust, like you could, if you had a game on Steam which has this kind of sellable, marketable shit, you could do this. But Rust is currently the only one, and the way it happens in Rust, apparently, which I never played, but I played Ark, which is a clone of Rust, so hey, you get drops. There's drops, and sometimes you find stuff, and it's skins, and then you can have those skins, or you could sell those skins. You can sell them on the marketplace, but if you never got the drop, and for some reason it's not on the marketplace, you can buy in the store or something. But then they said that the stuff in the store is for limited amount of time.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
But you can still just, for the same ability, get it randomly in the thing, or just buy it off the market. So it's like a Steam sale, and meanwhile eBay is constantly going on, or something like that.
Maybe.
Sort of, well, ish. So it's like limited runs, kind of, just to keep you looking. And I think they have both prices so that you could check the store to see if it's cheaper than the marketplace. But I would think that as soon as something's on the store, the marketplace price will immediately crash to the store price.
Right?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the whole point. I don't understand. Like this would influence. It can't exist away from the market.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it's plus this is apparently intended not for the developers to sell their own made like skins of red guns or whatever that is, but for the community people to sell their own. So someone makes like a type of shoe in Rust, and then they want to sell this on the marketplace thing like this one, as opposed to on the market.
Also, one more thing about the pricing though. So a lot of items obviously are like 3p or whatever, but they won't put things on the market for 3p. They'll put them on for like $3. Even though they do place the prices next to each other, the concept of doing that seems a bit dishonest. Like someone would just get this. I mean, they'd have to be, I guess, kind of foolish to buy it, but like, why would you even have the option of buying something 100 times the price that you could get it in the market?
I did. It's in the I think it was PC Gamer, the article I read. So they compared. I went to this page that you see the screenshot of. I think I took that screenshot, and there it was nothing below £1. But apparently this is the store, not the market, whatever thing the kids play around in. So the adult store. Please, no relation, the name. So and here, so the prices were pretty high, and then they compared apparently to some other marketplaces, which I didn't, but took their word for it. And some of them were cheaper, some of them were more expensive. Some of them were like much cheaper. Like there was an item that was 5p, and in the store it was like £2. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't see the point. Yeah, maybe there will be games that will not have stuff on the marketplace, but they will have in the store. And then
is that possible?
Or I have like zero interest in this thing. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Cool. So we are moving on to more money stuff. UK Games Fund is a thing we've mentioned previously, and it's now an actual thing that you can apply to next week if you're from UK and want to make games and qualify under a long list of criteria, which
we accidentally very recently just came just by some random chance qualified for this, except we don't have a project.
Yeah, and except we don't have the money and the
startup money.
Yeah, exactly. So the way this works currently, the first round starts in a week, and you can get up to 25k or 50k, that's in pounds, a grant that will go towards you developing a prototype of a game, and then you can use to either do a Kickstarter or a publisher starter or a non-starter. I mean, those are your options. To do this in the first round, at least, you have to be an established company, paying taxes, having employees, at least 2, up to 15, no more than 15. There's a long list of rules. There's a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, etc. But the main point is that a lot of the people who would actually benefit from this doesn't seem like they can really apply, because most of them don't have companies with more than 2 employees, or even 1. A lot of the people, like indie scene in UK, is like a single guy sometimes. Often, and they were like complaining about this on their Twitter as well. And also, they don't actually give you the money; they repay you for your expenses, which is one way of running a grant.
Which is a bit. Also, you probably then have to justify them, and it may be, I don't know. Is there any guarantee that, like, you go, well, I bought this, I was doing it, and they're like, well, that's not useful in game dev, and you're like, well, I've spent that money.
Yeah, exactly, because they say they have the right to say, like, no, that's not a valid expense. And also, if you don't present it within the 4 or 5 or whatever 6 weeks of having that expense, they may say, okay, sorry, it's too late. which is
so this
sort of
sounds like a bit of a trap.
Yeah, so which is kind of mind-boggling, because why would being late with the thing be even a problem, since you want to give this money away? The whole point of the fund is, here's the money, we want you to do shit with it, as opposed to like, oh sorry, we're gonna keep that.
I think it's probably a matter of, we want to make announcements with numbers of money in it.
Really? And that's it?
And technically
no one
not
actually
be
gets
lying.
and no one actually gets the fund.
It's like insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty weird. They also promised that the next round is in January, I think 19 actually. They even had a date, and that one is going to be aimed at startups. So you don't necessarily have to have paid your corporate tax before or whatever, filed your shit. So this is the current round is for people who've had a company for more than a year,
Right.
and the next one will be potentially for those who just established it. But they said, someone asked this question on Twitter, and they were like, no, by the time like you need to apply in January 19th, you already need to have a company. It may be the one you formed just now, but you can't apply and not have a company already.
Oh.
But it can be the one that didn't exist for a year. So it seems like it's going to be almost the same thing, really.
Yeah.
So one potential thing is that they can like keep lowering the threshold to maybe at some point actually make this useful to people who would benefit from the money, as opposed to they already have it and keep getting richer, or something like that. Yeah. But I don't know that's 4 million for 4 years, so $1 million a year, I would assume. If you divide it, 4 million by 4, it'd be just 1. Yeah, so true facts. So if it's $1 million a year, it's quite a lot of projects if they're each roughly 25k. Even though there are 50k ones apparently, or they're meant to be, but it's a bit hard to get 50k.
Yeah.
Because then you'd have to like have at least 50k capital or to match it or something like that. Yeah, so it is actually happening, but how many people are going to benefit from that is to be determined, I guess.
Yeah. So what's the space? It may be that we try for one of these, but it depends very much on our situation, how confident we are about money, the idea, availability, etc. But it could be a thing potentially.
Yeah, most likely if they actually do give the money up front instead of being like, we'll pay you back. Because spending 25k yourself and then be like, oh, maybe they'll give it to me, is a bit like, if I had that much money to throw around, I probably wouldn't need government help. Thank you very much. I'd run my own country. Small one, but still.
Yeah. Airland.
Right above sea land, right?
Yeah.
It's a helicopter. It constantly gets refueled.
Yeah, and they're like, we want to play table tennis. And you're like, ah.
Oh, it's the most annoying country ever.
Fuck those guys. I hate Airland. We should stop refueling them, really. Nah.
Wouldn't they also
They're our only customer.
Wouldn't there also be like Landland as well or something? Because there's Sealand, Airland, and Landland.
Oh man, and then together they become like Planet Man.
Yeah.
It's like a superhero who's like a bowling ball.
It's the Planetland Confederation is going to be the full name. It's the greatest country of all time.
Libertarians keep trying to live on it, and they're like, fuck off.
The helicopter keeps blowing them away. Which takes us to GTA 5 and the advertising standards. What is it? Not associations, advertising standards.
Authority.
Authority ruling on one of the Steam sales, interestingly enough. So, that's exactly what they did, because that's all they can do.
You're going to bed with dinner. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Wear a condom. No, I mean, food poisoning and all that. So, there was a sale, I think it was like recently in October, I think. One of the autumn sales.
Wasn't it a summer sale?
It was a summer sale. I see three months ago at most. Yeah, and they had a weird. I actually remember this. They had a weird thing where they're like, "Oh look, GTA 5 is 25% off," and then the price was the same, even though it was 25% off. And then there was some kind of weird shenanigans with them, including into the price of the game all kinds of online money you could use in GTA Online, and thus bringing the price up with that, and then bringing it 25% down back to the normal GTA 5 price. Because GTA 5 or whatever online isn't like a separate thing. It comes with the game. You just play it like online. Just sort of with like Metal Gear, which we're going to talk about that a bit later. So then obviously that was kind of weird that people got confused, and I think probably maybe some people bought it thinking they're like getting something, but it didn't, etc. So the AASA was like, no, don't do this again, and that's it. That's just entire news.
Do they have any ability to? Let's say they do it again. Is there anything else they can do?
I think that in that case they'll say, we've told you already, and we're telling you again.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they don't have actual authority.
We're not angry.
Yeah.
We are merely disappointed.
Exactly. That should be their full name. ASA, we're not angry, we're merely disappointed.
Yeah. That's a bit shit. I feel that anyone who bought it during that sale should be given 25% of their money back.
That's
Honestly.
fair enough. Yeah.
I'd be very happy with that. I'd be like, okay.
Or like a goodwill gesture and 26% maybe. Like just a tiny...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which takes us to that kind of actual video game news for some reason. And,
No.
Not really. It's not actually not... All the sections today are sort of not really what they meant to be. Like this one with Bob Ross. So this is what Ed wanted always, and it's here now.
Well, yeah, but I thought about it a bit more, and I'm like, probably won't switch back because the quality setting thing is kind of a deal breaker. But yes, essentially, way back when Twitch went, fuck Justin TV, that's gone. We're making loads of money from games, so we're going to focus on games, and change their terms of service to basically be, if it ain't about games, fuck y'all, get banned. I don't really know if it was enforced, but if you want to make a business doing something that isn't games on Twitch, it's unrealistic to run a business based on crime unless you are a crime lord. It has to be pretty organized.
Yeah.
So basically everyone left, and so when I was doing art streams, and I'm still trying to do them when I get time, they would have to go onto something like Picato, where you're fighting alongside like pictures of dragon cocks all the time, or
that's a great.
I don't know, some other shit.
You know what?
So so then YouTube, whatever, generic streaming. I mean, it was always kind of there, but
YouTube generic streaming is a great name for their whatever the platform.
Yeah, their whatever platform.
Yeah.
Your something service.
Yeah.
But anyway, that exists, but then they kind of spend a bit more time, again, going down the gaming route, but not having the terms of service saying you couldn't actually do game stuff. Just, I guess, don't tag your non-game stuff as game stuff, but whatever. But I think at this point, maybe that was the only like real big like outflow problem they had. I don't know. There's a lot of people like streaming creative stuff. I don't have any numbers on it, but I imagine it's quite a big thing. And I think they probably saw it as like a sector that's kind of fairly easy to maintain and gets lots of like goodwill and a different kind of audience.
Yeah.
So they basically made this thing, Twitch Creative, and it's just the same exact service, but has terms of service thing that says you can do it now. And there's a category which is like paintings and shit. And also, just as another like mini goodwill thing, which is kind of a fun stunt, is they had a channel where they streamed all the Bob Ross episodes back to back for like 8 days, because it's like 400 episodes or something. And you can also have a Kappa Bob Ross icon, which is fine if you like torturing pigeons. So that.
Yeah, and they also there's the last episode where Bob Ross does this all the stuff, and they show the video. In the end, his last painting, he signs it. I don't know if you saw this. He signs it and it says 2015.
Really?
No.
I was going to say that's kind of disrespectful.
Well, yeah, I mean the man's been dead for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine he just paints a happy little Kappa. Like, fuck you! Don't do that.
It's a happy little mistake. They made a mistake. But you should do that though.
Make all my apologies and be like, "Oh, it was just a happy little mistake from now on."
But imagine like thinking ahead like that. So if you're a painter,
you just read the room and you were like, "There'll be a service. It will need me."
Well, no, you do just in case. You just do like every year for like next 50 years. You just do a little video where you sign it 2015, 2016, 2017.
And then you do a wink back.
Yeah,
to the
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that guy.
Occasionally include like sex robots in the background just in case goes
that happens. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or there's like another thing that says like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, if they like unite and become one company.
Yeah.
Like that guy who did the trick, the one who was like, it was on TV, and he went like, "Oh, I'm just gonna toss a coin, and it's gonna be 10 heads, like, one after another." Do you remember that one? It was like, I think it was British TV.
Was this David Blaine or something?
Maybe, I don't know his name. So he like, and he did it, and everyone was like, "What hex magic shit? This is like TV trick stuff." And apparently, he was just filming it for an entire day. And he finally did 10, and it's like the camera doesn't shut. Like it is actually he does 10. But every time he would like start the new, shot, he would be like, "Hello, my name is this and this, and I'm gonna do 10 heads." And like, it took him like an entire day of filming, but he finally did it, and they showed it.
That's quite lucky, because obviously the odds there are like 1024.
Yeah, maybe it was 2 days. I guess he got paid. It was the one.
I mean, yeah, you could do it first time.
Yeah.
It's just unlikely. Yeah.
So that's Bob Ross for you. You can be Bob Ross 2 now on Twitch. Sorry, that's a joke, so I'm gonna say kappa to that. So anyway, Batman. Yeah, Batman's thing. Is it quite a popular franchise or something? And their latest game still sucks on PC apparently, which is called Batman the sequel of.
Arkham Knight.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, cool.
Batman Arkham Knight.
Isn't the formula now Batman Arkham something?
Yeah, so it was Arkham
Asylum?
Arkham City?
Yeah, exactly.
Arkham Oranges?
Oranges,
and
yeah.
then Arkham Knight?
Yeah.
And it's becoming gradually less interesting, except for that little peak with the word oranges. So I think that the next one, what would the next one be called? It'd be Arkham Sword?
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah.
Arkham
Justice?
Fate? Arkham Rising?
Yeah, Arkham Rising.
Arkham Revenge?
Arkham Setting?
Arkham Ark.
Arkham? Just imagine that. Batman : Arkham.
Batman : Arkham : bless you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they realized that the game sucks, and so you can get a refund all the way up to, I think, January 1st, 2019. I was going to say 2016. So until the end of the year, you can get the refund. It
doesn't matter how much you
played or whatever. They're just going to take it back. But if you stick around, they're going to try to keep fixing it. That's what they said, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like, you shit on the floor and vomited next to it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I'll just clean this up." And they said, but they didn't do it. And they said, "Oh, if you stick around, I'll really clean it up."
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Cool. Pretty much. They took, I think, 2.5 months to fix it, and it's apparently the same. Ish. So, but I know, like, for example, there's not
some things got fixed for some people.
Not all people are having terrible problems. I know that our good old friend Slippery Jim is having fun with it and not complaining too much. So I guess it works for some. What I also heard is that if you have a good enough computer, this is again, the problems are only on PC. I think the console people are doing fine. You can get the console experience as the Digital Founder, which is like a part of Eurogamer thing, said. But that's it. Like, if you don't have it doesn't scale essentially, and it needs a lot of firepower to actually like run okay.
Yeah, Warner Brothers is awful.
It's well, I mean, the other thing was fine in terms of its performance. The one with the orcs decapitation thing. The one, middle ground mediocre.
Middle ground mediocre. I love hunting.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I love to hunt.
Hunterton 3000, mediocre. So yeah, that game was fine anyway. That game worked well, and I think at least on technical level, it was like reasonably fun until the Scottish dwarf showed up.
Yeah.
My brother died.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a buddy movie with you.
Yeah, for like there's a 3-hour quest with him essentially, of nothing happening. Which
like hanging out with the Hearthstone tutorial man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was the same actor. I don't know.
Maybe.
This next one isn't actually video game news, but we just thought you'd probably already know, so we say it again. That new Star Trek is happening. But it is related to video games in the sense it's probably going to be a tie-in game or something. So
yeah, there'll be loads of game shit.
Yeah.
After this, if it's not as bad as Enterprise.
They'll have like a new Star Trek themed Tetris, and new Star Trek themed The Breakout, and Pong, and all those good things. So that's why I found this image. I think it describes the whole situation.
I thought they were cocktails, but they're barcode scanners.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, well, they don't have contactless? Fucking hell.
No. That's the thing. The biggest video game news, which isn't this because this is not video game news, is that Activision Blizzard, sorry, my apologies, please don't sue me, bought
Blacktivision
bought King.
Acted? They're both terrible. Sorry. Carry on.
They bought King, who are responsible for the worst nightmare of bejeweled people, Candy Crush Saga. Yeah. I bet everyone who worked on Bejeweled at any point now are going like, fuck! Fuck!
Oh.
Yeah. So they purchased King for, was it 5.6 million?
$5.9 billion.
$5 billion, yeah. Which, is that the biggest video game purchase?
Mojang was 2.5 billion.
Yeah.
Facebook bought Oculus for 2 billion.
That's all less.
I don't think there's any bigger. I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been mentioned in this article, I feel.
So the King claims that there have 500 million people playing their games, mostly Candy Crush Saga.
500 million people?
Yeah.
Me.
And they are very happy that this happened, obviously, because they get a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of jokes about Call of Duty, Candy Crush Saga, or whatever kind of crossover stuff happening. Maybe it's gonna be like instead of candy, it's gonna be like zombie terrorist faces that you'll be. So
The thing about jokes about that, it's a bit like being there next to like a guard with a gun or a police officer or something and going, you can't possibly mean you're going to kill us all. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't smile.
Yeah.
He just draws his weapon. And you're like... and then he releases Call of Duty candy.
That's essentially it, though, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
So someone was joking like they just bought 5.9 billion of write-off or whatever, but I don't know, because they've been having a lot of financial trouble for the last 2 years, I believe.
Is that Activision?
King.
Oh, King, yeah.
So this is like amazing for them, obviously, because their value's been declining. Why necessarily? I guess Activision just wanted to have like a mobile branch.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Why
Another
wouldn't you?
700 employees or whatever it is working on for King now. Someone has done another joke I enjoyed somewhat was there someone saying that Electronic Arts should now buy Rovio just to keep up. Rovio is the company responsible for Angry Birds, obviously.
Well,
So-
they lost a shit ton of money as well, so...
Yeah, I think they're both pretty much. Both of them just have this one game because King has 200 games in its throughout its existence that they've produced. None of them have even come close to the success of this one thing. Same with Rovio, I believe. And for Rovio, like Angry Birds was the game number like 75 or something like that. They've been like at it for a long time. Yeah, and then they finally, if you roll dice enough times, kind of thing.
Flip a coin enough times.
Yeah, then you get 10 heads in a row, and you're on BBC all of a sudden. For no reason. So we'll see what comes out of that. What horrible nightmares are born from this.
Well, you know how we'll really know, because I'm certainly not going to be looking that deeply into it on the internet. On the tube into work, I'll let you know if I see any Call of Duties flashing in a line and then disappearing. Okay.
Excellent. Like we see Fallout 4 right now.
Oh yeah. Somebody at work has taken the week off to play Fallout 4. And I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, good stuff.
Glad he's enjoying himself.
Excellent. Someone must be. I mean, it's we're not. What is this news thing? Oh, this is you actually. Do you want to talk about fighting games?
Yeah, I want to talk briefly about fighting games.
Cool.
Not a huge amount of new stuff, but just like an extra data mining leak for Street Fighter 5 based on the announcer recordings. So obviously files have been found. So there were some pose files with the shortened names of the characters and that people were speculating. But they actually have managed to get the audio files of the announcer saying things to the point that this completely confirms every single character and every single DLC character. I believe Guile is going to be one of them. There's a Maximilian video which pretty much breaks all this down. But the other interesting thing that came out of that, because I'm actually a little bit tired of talking about the characters that are coming out, because I just want to play the game, and it'll be a while before I'm bored of them, right? But something that's quite nice is in the audio files, it appears that the announcer is reading out the names of a lot of very big fighting game tournaments around the world. Some obvious ones like Evo, obviously, Capcom Cup stuff, but then it goes all the way to like Hype Spotting Scotland, Stunfest France, and things like that. So it looks like they're really taking the kind of esports side of it very seriously, to the point that they apparently are partnering with all these tournament organizers to have like some proper official Capcom support in their game. And I think it's really nice.
Cool, excellent. Yeah, I think this is the video that you mentioned that is running in the background currently. So, who are the new characters, if you know them?
So, I
the
believe
DLC ones,
Balrog's back, so Boxer, or one Boxer.
Yeah.
Alex from Third Strike is back. He was being teased as just a background character in one of the stages, but people noticed his poly count was as high as Ryu's. So they thought, and correctly so, that he's going to be one of the DLC ones. Urine, which is the kind of naked guy from Street Fighter 3, who essentially Shoto moves. He does have a fireball, and I think he has can put up like a wall.
Isn't it kind of like Seth?
He looks a lot like Seth.
Yeah, okay.
And he goes crush, destroy,
Because
kill.
the fireball he fires, it looks very similar to the ball that Seth has in his body.
Yeah, a little bit actually. Yeah, same kind of color scheme, kind of size.
Same spin.
And he has his banana hammock. We're wondering whether it will look like that when it comes out. Jury is back. Ibuki is back. So how many did we do?
That's 5, I think.
That's 5. So one more.
I think. List them again. List them again.
Guile, Alex, Balrog, Urien, Jury, Ibuki. I think that's
There's 6. All right, cool.
Yeah. So that's known, Khaleesi, and in spring we'll get to play it.
But the DLC characters come within a year, don't they?
I imagine they'll be on a 2-month schedule, so it'll be like the season system that they did in KI, which enabled them to kind of have patches happen when you'd expect them to happen, so you don't get like surprised.
Yeah.
Because generally with the introduction of character, you will have to do a little bit of tweaking and balancing, because you'll just be like, oh, this one blows this guy up like 9-1, and then they have to do just a little bit of changing, which has knock-on effects. And when you've got tournaments going on and professional players, they need to
know what they're dealing with.
Be in the loop. They need to know what they're doing. They need to know that they're like combos they've been learning don't suddenly change, or if they do, that they've got a bit of a heads up. So it seems it's weird. It seems like it's all going well, even with leaks. It's all going really well.
As if they wanted this leaks to be out. They want it to be found.
Yeah, that's it. And we find out actually they end up releasing different characters, and they just made all this shit up. They're like, my god.
It's just gonna be different skins of Blanca.
Oh fuck! It's just Blanca Fighter 5.
Yeah.
Everyone's Blanca. Oh, fuck me.
Every time you choose a character, you start with them, and they go to the like ready. Fight, and they take off their skin, and it's Blanca.
They just rip it off in one motion, and it goes, mother!
Exactly. As it should be. Which takes us to the things you don't need, but you could buy, but you don't need them. First item. Call of Duty Black Ops. This is hands down the worst name for a tie-in shit that ever maybe, because I can't think of a worse name than this one.
You know what?
Yeah.
You are banned. Not you, but you guys are fucking banned. You can't put the word black in a drink and have it be an IPA.
No,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
But because they don't drink. The people who made this, they don't drink. It's they use the special app for drink design, and it's all good. Don't worry.
Also, I don't like hops. Hops are shit. I like fucking malty stuff. And that, you know what that makes the beer look like? It makes it look dark.
Oh, so the name Black would be appropriate for that one.
Black. Well, malty's more like amber stuff. So like where I drink Old Peculiar or Golden Sheep or shit like that, or even Hobgoblin. But then you get darker. Actually, Old Peculiar is darker than that, maybe. But then you get like Guinness and stuff. and you start getting like stouts and porters and shit.
So they would be
Which
appropriate to be
you describe
black.
as black. Hops, though, are generally in lighter beers with horrible tangs afterwards that I find generally disgusting. And I really hope this beer is vile.
That's all for this one. We're moving on to the next product you don't need. It's also the one you can drink. And this one's not black, it's blue because it's Nuka-Cola Quantum. Nah. It's a full title. How do you know this is a sci-fi drink, you ask? Ah, well, because you have a scantily dressed astronaut lady in the background who, if ever exposed to the vacuum of space, will immediately freeze to death and then be blown apart by the vacuum because she's not fully actually wearing a suit. She's kind of semi-naked. But maybe if you drink this drink, then you don't really need the full suit. You only
It's
need
not
half of it.
for... I don't think that suits for being outside. You see how it's around her head, and you see there's the bit in the back? I think the back's full of the cola, and
Yeah.
it just fills the head thing up with this blue cola, and
that's-
she just kind of inhales it.
It's a dive suit, actually, is what it is. You start breathing...
It's a reverse diving suit.
Yeah, you start breathing this water thing, whatever that movie... Is it Sphere that has that? No, what is it? The one where
The
you...
Abyss.
The Abyss, yeah, where you breathe sort of water, yeah, or something
Yeah.
liquid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is... don't breathe this drink. In general, also don't buy it.
Yeah.
And if you buy it, please unsubscribe. So the next one is even worse. It's worse than these two combined. It is the mother of all unnecessary items. Also the father of all necessary items. It's a book.
Yeah, why would you need book?
Yeah, why would you need a book? Because books are for, people who wear glasses. Deviants, indeed.
Nerds.
This book was dunked in the toilet several times for being a nerd. So this book loves you, and it's by PewDiePie, and it has like 4.5 stars on Amazon. It costs $10, and what it is like a collection of about 50 or 60 witty expressions by yours truly, which is PewDiePie.
Andrew, I've just had an amazing idea.
Yeah.
We should make a book called My New Band.
Just be the
It's
titles.
50 or 60 of our My New Band jokes, and then it's art of what that band would look like.
No one would buy that. Even our moms wouldn't buy that.
That's an awesome idea, you know it.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah, that would be great. But like the research it would take to go through all our videos where we all have to do the my band jokes, we'd have to have some
Jesus.
algorithm that would like isolate the sound bites that would be like just.
Oh,
about
you know, it'd be easy actually. What we would do is we just record us saying My New Band, and we sell it to stock sounds thing, and then we just do a content claim on all our own videos, see which ones match.
Oh, that's great,
And then
yeah.
Just be like, whatever.
That's an amazing idea. I think that's essentially how we could do this very cheaply. There's no bands in this book though, and I try to. This doesn't have like how the Amazon sometimes has like look inside thing where you can like read a little bit of the book before you buy it. So this doesn't have that.
Oh, no.
No, but you can tell that this is like a joke thing because there's a heart in like you. The O is a heart. I'm just gonna explain this because if you're into PewDiePie, you may not understand this. So. And it has like, it's winking at you and sticking out the tongue, which means like it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek type thing.
Levity.
Levity, yeah, exactly. Very good.
Yeah.
So,
It's got that Fault in Your Stars font for his name as well.
The kids react to
that.
that.
Didn't escape me.
yeah. Yeah, let's not talk about that book because that's quite depressing. So, I try to find the jokes, right? You want to see like what's inside because now the reviews actually mention like any quotes. I look at them and it's either like bro fist or oh PD I love you, or the other way around is someone's like my child brought this book to school to show and tell or something and they got detention. Not really. So I did like Google image search whatever, and I found a couple. I think like one of the ones that there's like 3 or 4 I found. One of them that stuck in my head was there's an image of a milk bottle with like a face on it, sort of a sad milk bottle, and then it says "Do not cry over spilt milk," and underneath it says "Cry over how sad your life is." So this is sort of the type of thing you'd find there. And apparently, as I found out from the reviews of this, that this is satire.
Of what?
Of milk, duh. So
Do they understand what satire means?
obviously, because it's the milk jokes, so it's the milk stuff.
It's not.
Yeah.
As Claudia would say, no, this is not satire.
Yeah, $10 that you don't have to spend. There you go. Now
There you go.
please unsubscribe if you have this book. Yeah, that's it. That's the shit you don't need is right there. That was it. And now gonna talk about Cortana. Yeah, that's because it's a much happier subject, isn't it? That statement the guy made. I'm gonna read out in full because that was fucking amazing.
Please do.
So is it the Halo 5? Halo 5 came out. Is that what happened? Because I don't care.
Halo 5 came out, and I don't care.
Cool. So apparently Halo 5 came out, and sorry, I don't care.
And neither do I.
And it turns out the Master Chief, or some guy who looks like him, because they all look the same, it's cheaper for development, is very large compared to Cortana's. Cortana is an AI, as I understand, I've been told. It's just seems 4 times the size of there's a perspective problem in this image, I don't know, or something. But anyway, so Cortana appears in the game, which usually is a voice, is it correct? She's mostly the voice.
She always is a hologram representation. She has been a hologram in all the games,
right?
But also can just be a voice, I think.
Right. So, but has she ever had a full body in previous games?
Yeah, I remember seeing an image which was like all the Cortanas through time, and they kind of got chestier, basically.
Link Cortana of time.
Cortana comparison. Here you go. Here's the Cortanas. I found it in one. I'm a genius. It's going into chat. Remember to put it in the links or whatever.
Cool. Let me take a look at that.
Yeah. So she starts with kind of a very boyish cut, very kind of abstract look.
She's
like
been
a
maturing.
woman shape, but in the end, yeah, she sort of matures in a weird way. Like the third one kind of looks like Mike Patton.
Yeah.
No, someone else. That one looks weird.
Yeah. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, is it? And this is
Yeah, I believe so.
So this is 5. Apparently. So anyway, so there's a thing where she's naked in the last one, and it's there's people are like, whoa, she's naked, and then the guy who is in charge of art, I believe, explained this, and it's very very strange. Let me find an actual thing that happened there, because his explanation to me made no sense, but maybe you will understand what he meant. So let's open that up. It's quite good. It's like one of those things that you want to be engraved somewhere, so people, the future generations see, blah blah blah. So he said, she's not really nude. She's not really nude, but that's what it makes you think of. This is Mr. O'Connor, by the way. So one of the reasons, he continued, she, and then for some reason it's in square bracket, chooses to appear without clothes. I imagine that's said in robotic voice, is to attract and demand attention. She doesn't. Isn't it impossible to complete the game unless she helps you? What more attention can she possibly get? She's she gives you the
I'm
fucking
a progression blocker.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have your attention. I'm gonna attract it over here.
And then on the other side,
demand it over here.
There you go. That's essentially what she's doing, apparently, and she does it to put people off, so that they are on their guard when talking to her, and she has the upper hand in those conversations. So if someone flashes you in the street, and they open
it. I'm fucked at that point. The argument just breaks apart.
There's a guy. He opens his trench coat, and he's fully naked underneath. Yeah. They're doing this obviously to attract and demand attention but they immediately get the upper hand in your video game progression if they do it on the street. Apparently, that's essentially how it works. He continues. This is not even it. He just goes on. It's kind of almost like the opposite of the nightmare you have, where you go to school in the nude.
So she's experiencing the nightmare, and you're just there embarrassed.
Yeah, but in the nightmare, are people really embarrassed for you? It's like it's because it's about you, isn't it? It's like if you have that nightmare, it's usually you're naked. Oh shit, I'm naked. It's not like, oh my god, I feel so embarrassed for Ed because he's naked. Anyway, so you're terrified, he continues, and embarrassed because there's a naked lady in front of you, and she's kind of projecting that back out of her audience and winning, and this is the best bit, winning intellectual points as a result. What?
I want to vomit into this man's mouth.
Like how? Like this is the most convoluted bullshit I've read in at least like last few months. What does it even mean? It's fine if you want to have a naked lady, just say like, I really like naked ladies, I want to put in every game, and I'd be like, okay, fine, this guy really likes naked ladies, he wants to put them in every game. It's just like intellectual.
This is completely right.
Intellectual upper hand by being naked. How does that?
That's like horribly offensive. Like it's offensive to like me in the way that it's like expecting that this would somehow affect like my performance just in general in life. Oh, it's a naked hologram. Whoa, I've done life drawing. Like I've seen naked people. It's fine. I didn't feel that they had the upper hand.
Or if their hand was like raised, they would, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
then I'm like, oh damn, they could have a hand. Oh shit, I better just spend the entire time drawing their cock.
Yeah.
Shaded.
I don't
also,
know. I don't know what else.
There was another thing that I saw on this, and I forgot to find it and link it. But it was a quote from somebody who worked on one of the earlier Halos, and they were saying that I think they were working on some design stuff, and they had the concept artist below them. I will try and find this link if I can later. But essentially they were saying, yeah, I saw some of the early designs of Cortana, and I was like, she's too, like, femme-ish, and like, they've gone way too far with the kind of sexiness look. It's not really what she's about. Please change it. And the concept artist was just like, I like this, and there was no time to change it. And so they've kind of retroactively tried to justify this thing, which was just like some guy being a little insubordinate.
Yeah. Do you think was it about this one or a previous one?
I think that's the previous ones, and they've always been this kind of thing, because you even saw in those images, like, they were lower fi, but it was pretty much the same idea. I don't see this as being that different from the other ones, to be honest. It's just maybe slightly more realistic and slightly more the way they were going anyway. It's like the Lara Croft images in reverse.
It's kind of like in Dazed and Confused. It's what's good about naked AI in the games is that time goes on, but the definition grows higher.
But yeah, this is the thing. Like the final word in it is, I think, it's just like there's nothing wrong with doing this, but please just admit to us and yourself that that's what you're doing. It's fine. Just do it. You want to do it, you do it. There's nothing wrong with it. You shouldn't be ashamed of yourself for wanting to do this. You're just that kind of person, and that's all right. I probably won't spend time with you. That's right. Like,
at least
not
not
own
close.
the PewDiePie book and drink fucking Black Hops, you idiot. Just enjoy your stupid life, but stop lying to me and to you especially.
To your children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddy, why doesn't Cortana have any clothes? It's gaining the upper hand.
Yeah.
It makes her intelligent. The kid starts taking their clothes off. He's like, no.
It only works with AI. What's the rating for Halo?
16, Peggy 16 plus, whatever that means.
Cool. Good shit. Which takes us to, this is actually your department again, further South by Southwest horror.
Okay, I'm going to keep this brief. So last week we were talking
Our favorite
about
image in the background.
I kind of went on about it, but essentially sort of a media con, and they were like, let's have some panels. They were like, oh no, we'll have this panel on harassment, we'll have this other panel infested by Gamergate, blah blah blah. Panels get cancelled. They basically handle the publicity for all this really poorly and don't really take on board the messages that perhaps they should, and are in a kind of a capitulation and just trying to make things right. And like an earnest racist Nan, I love that image, Andrew, that's great. He's just fucking up while potentially just trying to fix their problems and causing other ones. So this move that they've made to try and make right all the back and forth and bullshit that's been going on about it was to have a whole day, a harassment summit on March 12th at South by Southwest. So well done. So they're going to invite the original panelists, Randy Harper, Katherine Cross, and Carolyn Cinders from Level Up, as well as, though, Perry Jones, Mercedes Carrera, and Lynn Walsh from SavePoint, which is basically the disguised Gamergate panel, which the others, understandably, a little bit unhappy about being included in the harassment summit. Notably, Randy Harper has come out to say there's nothing wrong with having them at South by Southwest on some other panel because freedom, etc., but she'd be deeply uncomfortable with them being in a harassment panel, which I remember a Katherine Cross tweet saying that would be very similar to having your rape survivor meeting attended by your rapist. So that's kind of going on, and I don't think there's been any clear conclusion to it. It seems that some of the people, because that's not the entire group of people invited, there's a whole list of others, and yet more that aren't listed there. But I've also heard reports from Katherine Cross saying that some of her friends, associates, are being harassed by people who have been invited to this new summit. So it sounds like it's yet another botch, and we're just kind of watching it continue and simmer on, and it's just a bit shit. I was never going to go there anyway, but I'm certainly never going to go there now, and I guess I'll let you know if it ever finishes, much like Star Citizen.
Dude, does South by Southwest have a horse named after them?
South by Southwest.
Yeah.
No, it should just be called Harassment Summit, the horse.
I'll bet on
And the
that
ride
horse.
is different every time, and you don't know who it'll be.
Mystery jockey.
Mystery jockey.
When is South by Southwest this year?
I closed the tabs. Let me find out.
Damn.
Damn!
That was a
I was
quick
I'm
closure.
so relieved to have finished with that.
Deliberately
It's March
information.
11th to 20th, so it would be on the second day.
Okay, so it's still quite far away.
Yeah.
Many shitty things could happen in that time.
I might, compress them into, monthly roundups if it keeps happening. Just be like, here you go, here's your catch up on this. Oh, by the way, Destiny news is next week.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So that's done.
Excellent. That's our dinklage of the week. So all we got left today is some Konami shit, and then some shitty titles. That's it. Because there's no robot news this week. There was robots for Passive.
There's some PSN shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, PSN
Okay.
shit. Yeah, no, sorry. That's in the. Yeah, you're right. That's in the what the fuck of the week, because that was the strangest thing I read this week. So it goes in there because of that. For many reasons, but we'll get to it. So let's start with Konami. Konami and Sweat is the next issue. Here's a sweaty man. He's sweating, and this is representative apparently of the developers, of their developers who worked on this game. This is Pro Evolution Soccer, the most video game name of a sports game in history.
And they failed to dispense it.
Yeah.
They failed to dispense Pez.
Exactly. So this is the last studio, whatever the name is, that is owned by Konami and is working on a big title still.
Yeah.
And they done fucked up apparently, and people were very unhappy. So they were very apologetic, and they promised to fix everything.
But currently, 100% of Konami studios are fucking up.
Yeah, exactly. But it will take even more time, and apparently that's what people are pissed off about, is that it's been taking so long to fix this, and then the fix it was meant to fix the things isn't fixed because it needs another fix.
And I think partly this is kind of a more annoying, potentially, than, say, a couple of weeks delay on a Batman game. Obviously, I know it was longer than that. But because the way this game works is it's time locked to what's going on in football, now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so there's a situation where this couple of weeks where they could have done some stuff, because I believe it relies on a lot of real data they just shove into the game, and then you can have the most realistic experience, which is a cool idea, actually. But they basically missed the transfer window, and the end of the transfer sort of season bit, whatever the period, is where most of the activity is, and this got fucked up by this patch.
Exactly. Yeah. So, another strange thing about this is that apparently, the online part of this game is fine and works, and is up to date, but the offline one isn't. I don't know how that's possible, but that's what the article claims. So.
I don't know how Total War 2 fucking had desyncs in a turn-based game. These things, programming, probably lots of different fingers in the pie, all fingering each other.
I would good. It's a very good image. In the same way probably XCOM, the first XCOM had desync issues in a turn-based game. I think that's how probably all that went. Yeah. So, but this is not all about Konami. The reason there is only one 100% sweaty studio of Konami left is because the other one that was there, which is the LA studio they had that worked on Metal Gear 5 and Metal Gear Online.
I think did they do 5? I thought it was just online.
I think it was both, as far as I know. Because in their statement, they said this is the studio that works blah, blah, blah. The Konami said it, so maybe they lied, but they said it. Tiny
Konami
little
said it would continue to support MGS5 and that MGO will still come out next year on PC. So I don't know. Not in the statement.
I think they did some support work as on the actual game. I'll double check. And then they mostly worked on, as you said, on Metal Gear Solid Online or Metal Gear Online, whatever. Which is, and as soon as I read it, I was like, oh, is there a different game? But it's just like an online component of Metal Gear 5.
Yeah.
Which was given to the console people essentially immediately after the game came out, but for the PC it's coming out in 2016 because obviously it's much harder to program for PC because that's the platform you use it to program on, which makes it a lot more difficult. It's like policing yourself. Controlling. It's easy to tell someone they're wrong, but it's very hard to tell yourself.
Who ports the porter?
Who ports the porter? Who filters the filterer? Probably the answer to that is Rura Jura. So anyways, that thing's closed. It's gone. That studio is no more. 35 people used to work there. That is no longer the case. And as the person whose name I forgot, who first spread this thing and said like, oh, I heard a rumor they're closing down. The last bit of their tweet was just before Christmas. So just before Christmas, it's always for some reason like a big deal if it's just before Christmas because I guess Christmas meant to be a happy time. So
maybe bonus, maybe bonus. Has a financial impact.
But then if anyone who wants to like fuck people over, they'll always dismiss them before Christmas, right? I mean, so it's not it's like it should be something to expect.
Like being hit with the back of the hand.
Yeah, it's like putting rings on before you hit someone with the back of a hand. Yeah, so it's gone. But apparently this doesn't interfere with the Metal Gear Online thing coming to PC.
It certainly won't interfere with whether or not I play it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's not gonna work on that. But I don't know that's which is an interesting also thing or situation to be in or to comment on, because if it's done and because these guys are not gonna be working on it, right? They're being let go right now. They're not gonna be let go in March, and this thing is coming like in March 2016 or something. So some of this has been transferred to the sweaty Pez studio, or it's done, but they're only gonna release it later, or whatever. It doesn't really make much sense, and they don't comment on it because they are into pachinko machines right now. So,
well, I mean, they're all on holiday.
Oh yeah, sorry, they were all on holiday within a pachinko machine. Like that movie where I think it's a French kids movie where two girls get into a TV and then the entire film they're trying to get out. They you've seen this, like they put a thread for some, like instead of antenna in where the antenna goes in, like they put a thread, like a knitting thing, and it sucks them in. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I wish this was a kid. I was scarred for life. So that's Konami news, and obviously it's always a good excuse to show the ham image I was showing.
Yeah. Soon we won't be able to show the ham because there'll just be nothing left because every single piece of news is just cutting off another
less
limb.
and less, ham in the picture.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the shit titles of the week. Now this week was pretty difficult in terms of shit titles because there were so many good ones.
Oh,
so
of those, eh?
I'm gonna do the runner-ups first. And
okay, good.
Then reveal the main, the winner. So these are the runner-ups here. The first one is Terminal Hacker, and not even a colon, dash, Into the Deep. Yeah, I mean, they were all very strong. Like, you may think a bit about each one, like, how is this not the main one this week? The second runner-up is Cliffs of War, colon, this one has a colon, Fortress Defenders. So that's Cliffs of War, Fortress Defenders. This one is almost like as if they're aware that they're bad. It's called Ancients of Phasaria, colon, Chess Club. And the fourth runner-up is Car Washer, colon, Summer of the Ninja. So The last one is probably sort of humorous, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fine, you can't win. Sorry,
Yeah.
because you made a joke. You have to be seriously bad title. Cliffs of War Fortress Defenders is very serious about itself. That was probably like that was that or the one that won.
Cliffs of War is strong. Just like what?
Exactly. And Ancients of Phasaria: Chess Club is apparently an MMO chess game. Which is an interesting proposition, but it's kind of like saying isn't chess like if you play with different people? Isn't that like, I guess that's just
a bit like an MMO.
yeah,
in a way.
like anything that you play with multiple people. Either way, so none of these guys made it because the game. This is everything that came out like within a week from since the last show. So the one that actually made it is called, and here it is. It's called Brilliant Shadows, not a colon, it's a dash again. Brilliant Shadows dash Part 1 of the Book of Grey Magic. This is the full title of the game. It seems like an adventure.
15% off right now?
Yeah, probably. Because it's first week. And has badly drawn characters. One of them is suffocating or something. So yeah, that's it. I don't really understand this a new fascination or trend with the dash instead of colon, because that doesn't.
Colon's better.
Yeah, it doesn't. Does that punctuation wise doesn't make much sense, does it? Like, yeah.
It needs to be an EM dash, but then the meaning is different.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there you got it. The worst title of the week is Brilliant Shadows Part 1 of the Book of Grey Magic. First time probably ever heard about
Grey Magic.
Yeah.
You reckon that this is just like their marketing person went, listen, these are the words. I don't care how you put them in. This will get you hits. Because I spoke to an indie dev one time, and he was like, yeah. He did a bunch of stuff for XBLA, right? And he was like, yeah, people just put the word avatar in their name, and they just get more sales. And it was, at the time, and it's probably still the case, but it was just lots of Minecraft clones. So it was like crafting avatar, mine resistance or whatever, and they would just be I don't know, just robots. Like slightly wrong people would just get this and just be like, oh, this sounds like the thing that I want. And like having a dream, everything's not quite right. It's like that.
I think I have a good title for Avatar, and it has mine in it as well. It would be called Mein Kampf: Avatar.
Oh no! Oh no!
So yeah, that's pretty good. Watch out for the next week's winner. This leaves us with our final segment, which is always when we have something, is the what the fuck of the week. Apparently, PSN, obviously because it's on a console, you can't really have your own avatar. Hey, speaking of avatars, you can't have your own avatar. You have to either get a free one or you can buy one of a PSN, so that you have this already. You have a way to express yourself, your individuality, let it flow through your avatarness. And until recently, they've been just kind of my whatever planet things and avatars mostly. But they were like, okay, let's make things cool. Let's do this thing where everyone just feels like really hip about their avatar, like it's 1993. And so they did. These are the new ones. This is not like user created. This looks like the shittest shit from Geosites or whatever. But it is. Oh yeah, but it is not. It is actual Sony produced avatars, as far as I understand, because there's no indication of this being made by someone else. There's like loads of them, but these are probably the ones that are at least as bad as other ones. I don't know. So we got the noobs raise my KD.
Now, when I first read that, I thought it said noobs raise my kid, and I was like, did you sell your kid to somebody or just put them up for adoption because you were just playing video games?
That's what I thought as well. I was like, okay, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's KD. Okay, cool, I got it now.
Yeah, there should be a slash in there, really.
Yeah, there's one, there's a pro gamer with grenades in it, obviously. Then you mad exclamation mark.
So something I noticed about the like graphics work here is I feel like the person who came up with the idea in the boardroom was the one who then went on to do the avatars. It wasn't actually like a graphic artist at all. This looks like really stock shit out of some knockoff bundled desktop publishing software from like '94, with like, oh, look at this gradient, oh, look, embossing, you mad? Like, you mad needs to be spelled with just the letter U. Like, they're getting their memes wrong. It's stupid.
Memes.
Like, this is like truly awful design. It's not even just cringeworthy messages, because I can understand seeing something where it's like, list of cringeworthy messages from board member given to graphic designer. The manager's like, I know it's shit, but you had to do it. And they're like, all right, and they do the best they can, and they end up with something that's soulless. The thing is that these aren't soulless. They're too bad to be soulless. They have a soul, and it's terrible. It's not just corporate emptiness. It's like a team building paintballing day with. It's truly horrific in a very special way.
Did you know that? Did you know that even the devil was an angel once?
Addicted to games. I wish it said games are addicting.
But that would be actually a good avatar.
Exactly.
You can't have. I mean, because the border's pretty thin, right? It's right there. You can just change them a little bit, and they'd be funny. But now they're just horrible. They're not. There's no sense that anyone had any fun making these. It's more like, oh god, they gave me this task. I have no idea how.
I think there's only one way someone could have fun with this, is if they were like doing a research project on how to exactly make the worst possible thing. You know, like, I have researched it. I can't just make it bad.
Yeah.
And I can't just make it like over-designed and soulless. I had to make it bad in just the right way. And they've done it.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
That's the one also that's true to myself. Like,
where's the other images? Oh, next page, yeah.
Yeah, the other one is
article.
It says
true to myself.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And there's natural born gamer. But the one is that I find most confusing is I posed my game to be here. I posed my game, like a pause. I made a pause. I posed my game.
Oh, you know what it means? I realised is the person thinks that their pointless life is a game, and they pause that because it's silly, like a game, and their real life is in the video game that they're playing now because this is serious.
It's quite deep. Like that's several layers.
I don't think many people would get that.
No, I don't. Maybe you were the only one, Ed. You're the chosen one.
I'm gonna get a phone call from the guy who made this. It's like, you understand my art. I end up being his agent, and we'll go around like Banksy, just putting shit everywhere. It's actually, in a way, it's like the vaporware of avatars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, except that it seems like one person sat down and made these. I don't feel like this is several people. I feel like this is too coherent. This is one guy.
Yeah.
Just doing all of them, like shitting them out.
Yeah, it looks like who's that fucking guy, the pop artist who does like the 4 times portraits of everyone?
And Andy Warhol.
Yeah, it's almost like a Warhol.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good.
That's it.
We did it.
I don't have anything else. Anything else you want
There
to add?
was just like a minor Kickstarter thing. If you're interested, Lab Zero doing their RPG. I don't think it's going to make it. I think it's probably going to need more money. If that's something you're interested in, you should go and look and give it money if you like Skullgirls and RPGs.
I thought they were doing okay, though. They're doing poorly.
They got like 10 days to go. The target's 1.5 million. They've got 600,000.
1.5 million? Are you serious?
It is expensive. Because I think they're just doing 2D animation again.
All right.
For an RPG, which is probably a bit more involved.
Damn, that's a tough ask, isn't it? That's a lot of money. Jesus. I'm surprised. I was thinking they would be like 300,000 or something like that, but Jesus.
I think one thing about them is that
they're realistic about funding.
They're realistic about funding, and even
they're only full.
They do not get paid much to do it. Because I had an interview by one of the guys, and he was like, on Skullgirls, in like the best year, he made like 20 grand, and that's in dollars.
Mm.
So yeah.
Well, if you live in a trailer, it's not too
bad. So yeah, that's a thing. Check it out if you like it. Check it out more. Check out at the till.
Yeah, give him some checkout time. Yeah. Thanks for watching and turning up. And if you're doing this on YouTube, so you know what to do. Share this on Facebook is what I mean. And if you don't, then bad things may happen, but probably will not.
I mean, we can't guarantee either way, says our lawyers.
Exactly.
Which we didn't pay, so I was quite happy that they said at least that much.
We should have like a picture in the end of our legal department. It's just an empty room.
Could it be the picture of Ryan Gosling? But we put a tie on the picture, like put a suit underneath it.
That works. Yeah, we haven't shown Gosling in a long time, so might as well get some camera time with him. That could work out.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys. See you next week. Bye. Goodbye. Oh, we did it.
Did
Boom.
another one.
Another one in the bag. The cat is back in the bag.